Tremendous energy is harnessed in the sexual act between a man and a woman. It is in this act of union or cohesion that humanity has the God-given capacity to create. This is how we generate our species, which means to give birth to an offspring or have children. But what if the Bible or the many scriptures have been telling us that we can use the same force to create something else within us? This same force can be used to enlighten you or myself, meaning that we will get to see life as our Creator sees it. Now, the word enlighten means to have greater knowledge and understanding about a subject or situation. This is what the scriptures, the allegories and stories have been trying to tell us for centuries, that we can use the same force of sex to understand the true meaning of life. When we summon the sexual energy, we summon the power of creation, the Holy Trinity, which in Christian doctrine is described as the one God in three equally divine persons. Man is the active force, the reflection of God the Father, while woman is the receptive force, the reflection of God the Mother, and sex is the force that brings them together. These are the three forces that give rise to all creation and form the foundation of the universal symbol of the Trinity. Now, this sacred Trinity forms the bedrock of all creation, symbolizing the inherent creative and transformative power within us. When this energy is directed upwards, it elevates our consciousness, connecting us with higher realms and spiritual truths. Conversely, if misused or directed downwards, it can lead to destruction and disharmony. This is sexual energy, the force that powers all creation on all levels. Sexual energy is symbolized by fire, water, and light. In the tradition of alchemy, sexual energy is symbolized by Mercury. Mercury is found in a rock. So the allegory, when Moses hits the foundation stone, the rock, we find the waters of life, aka enlightenment. The ancient ritual of baptism is also a symbol of the transmutation of sexual energy, the source of salvation. All of life is born of the sexual waters. Harnessing the force of that electric sexual energy or practicing semen retention implies a great responsibility. We know what happens when we expel our semen through ejaculation. We lose to the spirit called temptation. We lose our energy, our mental power, and our spirit. Life becomes a wilderness. We inherit darkness, weakness, fear, worry, dissatisfaction, and even premature death. According to ancient beliefs, during the time of Adam and Eve, the sacred act of sex was only practiced within the temples under the guidance of the Elohim. In this sacred process, the angels would supervise and guide a single sperm to meet an egg at the precise moment to create a divinely intentional child. The understanding was that wastefully expelling energy and semen through the orgasm was not required for procreation. The term Immaculate Conception held a hidden meaning, immaculate referring to perfect cleanliness, signifying the perfect and controlled use of the sexual energy. When we engage in sexual activities purely for physical pleasure and succumbing to the orgasm, it means expelling the divine energy, the energy that gives us a higher understanding of life, the energy that makes us the light of the world, the energy that sustains our physical, mental, and spiritual vitality. Adam and Eve, as symbols of men and women of the ancient past, ate of the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge or the secret knowledge of sexuality. They abused the sexual energy in their own bodies by having the orgasm, and therefore they broke the most fundamental rule they had been given. We need to learn how to control the tremendous energy that gives us the ability to create, because it is the same magnetic force that sustains our own vitality. We know that semen retention improves the health of our body, the health of our mind. The transmutation of it also sustains the health of our inner senses, the 7 chakras. These are the unseen senses that gives mankind the connection to the divine. Without sexual energy, the soul atrophies, breaking our connection with God. When we expel sexual energy, we expel the energy that fuels our inner senses. This is why those who fornicate, who expel the sexual energy through orgasm, cannot perceive God directly. The orgasm is symbolized in the poison apple given to Snow White, similar to the apple that Adam and Eve shared. While being sweet to the taste of the physical senses, it is poison to the soul. Eating it will result in unconsciousness and an eternity of sleep. The universal story of maidens and virtuous heroes falling asleep is an allegory illustrating the sleep of consciousness, the state in which human being loses direct personal knowledge of God and the higher realms of nature. This is why the fruit of the tree of knowledge was forbidden to eat. Before the abuse of the tree of knowledge, sex was treated with the utmost respect and the orgasm was unknown to mankind and not necessary. Husbands joined wives in the sexual act according to the laws given to them by Jehovah Elohim. They enjoyed the tree of knowledge, sexuality, but did not eat of its fruits. This was the genesis of the distinction between good and evil. A humanity that knew only goodness ate of the forbidden fruit and discovered animal desire, which always leads to pain and suffering. This is the Pandora's box, which when opened releases the agents of evils into the world. Through the discovery of the orgasm, Adam learned to be afraid, to be ashamed, as promised by the tempting serpent, and humanity gained new knowledge, the new knowledge of suffering. In tasting the forbidden fruit, Adam learned desire. From this moment, right and wrong are filtered subjectively through the need to feel pleasure and avoid suffering. Humanity had already known goodness, innocence, purity, and simplicity. Now, humanity also knew evil, shame, fear, pain, and emptiness. And this, my friends, gave birth to the 7 deadly sins. Look around you. This is the generation of lust, envy, greed, and self-indulgence, where pleasure is worshipped and adored. It has been so ingrained in us that some of us make it our life's goal to satisfy all of our perverse needs. In perverse, I mean those desires that are not in line with nature. And little do we know that self-indulgence and instant gratification is what is holding us back to have the life that we know we want. That life, that version of you that has abundance, not in just material wealth or fame. I'm talking about that version of you that has abundance of peace, purpose, discipline, and mental and physical energy. We destroy ourselves by seeking pleasure in many ways. May our Creator help those who are stuck in the party lifestyle and those in the dating apps. Let us pray for the people who has not found their purpose and resort to the orgasm as their main objective in life. Let us pray that they start practicing semen retention and transmutation. Let us pray that they watch this video, like it, and subscribe to the channel. It is time that we begin to really know our soul, because our soul knows what real joy and happiness is. We, the people, know more about our space than ourselves. The human soul, once found by the individual, will give rise to the spirit, and you will experience the real fruits of life. Time to wake up and realize that society has taught you wrong. It is time to know that every time we indulge in lust, we get lost. Every sexual thoughts of desire for physical sensation wage a war against our soul and destroy our spirit. Every action taken to fulfill sensual wants lead us further from having the life that our Creator wants for us. Once we heal our inner senses, our 7 main chakras, we can begin to reconnect. This will give us an insight on our purpose and also give us the drive to better ourselves. This begins by transmuting the sacred energy that we generate from semen retention to heal firstly our body, then our mind, then our inner senses, then ultimately our soul. It begins with you, and at the end, you will look back in time and you will smile.